All right, guys, if you want to make bass lines like you guys hear in this song, I'm going to show you guys a formula. All right, so bass lines are really simple once you understand the concept. So we're going to take a song where we don't even know the exact key. So the first thing is figuring out the root note of this song. There are many ways you could do this. One plugin that kind of really shortcuts the process is called Scalar. So for example, we can open up Scalar. In this plugin, I like to switch the piano to grand piano so you could hear it more clearly, and you can hit these notes and see which notes resonate with the song. So let's go through and just figure out which notes resonate. We're going to hit this record button. So it's all the white notes, okay? So in that case, it thinks the key is A and the scale is a minor scale. So usually the top two are your major and minor scales. So you have A minor, which is also C major. They're both one and the same. They're parallel, or whatever the term, relative, that's the word I'm looking for. So you have A minor and then C major. Chances are, because it's a darker tone, it's A minor. So now I'm going to sit here and play the note A. And that feels like a consistent note that we can play, which tells me we're 99.999% in A minor without boring you guys to tears. Now, the bass system is very simple. Once you know the root note, now we can go to a new pattern, for example, and we can load up Flex or any bass plugin you guys have. Go to the store tab for beginners. We're going to go pick the essential packs and download those. Go back to your library tab. And here we have the essential bass guitars library right here. And you can pick whatever tone you guys like. This one's okay of a tone. It's called the new rock tone. Okay, so it's pretty neutral for different categories. Let's turn off the limiter, the reverb, the delay, and the filter. And the formula for the bass notes is really simple. Let's go to the channel rack up here. Let's create a new pattern. Let's right click, go to piano roll. So we know our root note is A, so let's mark that in. Okay, now my system is extremely simple when it comes to bass lines. You're going to take the root note and you're going to count up 7 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This gives you the note E. And then you're going to take the root note again and you're going to count up. You're basically just going to hit control up. This is called an octave, which is 12 notes up from wherever you were. So right here, you count up 12. That's an octave. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That should give you the same note up an octave. So you have the root note, the perfect fifth, which is 7 notes up from the root note. And then you have the root note, and then you have what's called the octave, which is 12 notes from the root note. Now my system is really, really simple here. We're going to copy these notes and we're going to play a note above those notes. So this gives us 6 notes to jump around at any point in time during this bass line. So we have the root note, we have the sharp root note, up a half step. We have the perfect fifth, we have the perfect fifth, up a half step, sharp fifth, and then we have the octave, and then we have the octave up a half step. So these are the notes we can use to pivot around. So let's just turn these down so we don't trigger these. And let's create a bass line from scratch. Now this song requires a little bit of a rhythm. So we're going to create in like very short truncated notes. Let's add this to the playlist here. Let's go to our pattern. Now the bass line needs to be lower. So let's hit control down. Now again, every instrument's different. Okay, let's change our snap to grid to 1/4 beat so we can get a little more granular here. Okay, so we're doing what's called trecio. Trecio. It's a way to create a bouncy bass. Now this bass sounds off because of what's called the timing of it. So this is a little more advanced. If you guys didn't see the part 1 of this, we're just gonna go to the channel rack, go to the settings, go to the wrench tool and turn up time shift. So this is basically just delaying the bass sound to fit better in the pocket. So it doesn't sound so offbeat. Okay, so now it feels more in pocket. Okay, now let's start switching it up. Let's start using things like the perfect fifth. So I like to jump around at the end of stuff. So dun, 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 boom. Okay, so that little. Now I'm just gonna freestyle the in-between notes. This is not a mandatory thing. And then we're going to do that trecio. That trecio is the bounce. Now here we're using the same concepts. It's just a different note. We're playing the root note D. And if you count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this is actually the perfect fifth. If you count from G to D, they're 7 notes away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's the same concepts, y'all. It's the same concepts. The root note up an octave and the perfect fifth. Now this note in between is just referencing the first root note. Because I have 2 chords that I played, one was A and then the next chord was D. So we're following the chord progression here. I'm trying not to get too deep into the rabbit hole, but it all comes back to these notes. So as you're switching chords, all you got to do is switch the root note. So in this case, we're switching the root note to D because the second chord I played was D minor. The first chord I played was an A dominant chord. And then here we played E, so it should be dun, dun, dun. So we're just following the root. Yeah, we're following the chord progression there. Now, let's say you want to be fancier than this. Now, also in real life, you're not going to play the same like velocity every single time. So if you guys are typing in notes, here's a little trick. Go to the tools, go to Humanize, and start messing with the velocity range and see if you get a more realistic playing style. You could also mess with the start time offset. Okay, now on the second half here, let's start using more of these little notes, these half steps. Let's copy the same thing over. Now we're going to take this middle note, pull it up a half step. And half steps usually want to resolve back down a half step. So we're taking the A, going to the sharp A, and then pulling it back right down to A. Here we have the perfect fifth at A, and then we're moving into the root note of the next chord, which you guys can't see the music because I play this from my keyboard. So just trust me, bro. Okay, and then let me see what else we have in here. So it goes dun, dun, dun. And it's just that little switch up. Now let's say I want to switch up here. All right, let's see how we can add these little half steps in here from the root note to the fifth and just see if we could decorate this with more motion. And then I'll show you guys how to create a slide, a bass slide, which is more of what a natural player might do. So let's just start at the very beginning. So for example, let's add a note here. Let's double click. Let's make this a slide note. This only works with FL image line stuff. So any third-party plugins, it does not work with. And the thing here is we need to make this the full length. I'm just going to make it the full length and grab the slice tool so that it's a full length and just slice it there. So we're basically going to take this G, slide it down to D over that amount of time. So boom, like that. So another kind of way to do this is to add a slide note as a very small note. So we're going to go up the half step, which is our root note, up the half step, and we're going to double click and make this a slide note. And you can slide up and down. So let's slide this up and then back down. So it goes do here like that. Let's get the timing right. All right, so these articulations in real life are called hammer-ons. Now, are you going to get a perfect articulation? Not all the time. So now I'm adding octaves and perfect fifths to add in between notes. Now I'm going to use the same principles but play it by hand to see if we just get a different feel. So let's remove this. I remember the chords were A, D, and then E, D. I'll just kind of jump around. So we could see how that take was more like bouncy and more natural. So it looks like it recorded the wrong notes. Let me do that one more time. It recorded over the same pattern, which I thought I had a different pattern on, but it is. Let me Control Z that thing. All right, so we're going to keep this in just so you guys can see. Sometimes we make errors. So let's record that one more time, but playing by hand. So we can see how real life, we don't play the same way we draw notes. It's just two different things. So now I'm going to play the play by hand version versus using the same principles, and then the clicked in version. And you guys can clearly tell which one sounds more natural. So that's why I think it's best to play by hand using those principles. To learn more, go to busyworksbeats.com/FL Studio. And if you guys want to learn how to use music theory, go to busyworksbeats.com/music theory essentials. Or you can go to busyworksbeats.com/premium for our premium training, which is everything we offer. I'll leave all the links below. But if you want everything about everything that we've ever done, sounds, plugins, including our 90+ courses, go to busyworksbeats.com/black. To learn more. All right, y'all. Subscribe if you're new. Peace.